The Constituent Assembly was dissolved in January 1918 because the Bolsheviks were weak. How far do you agree? The statement that the Constituent Assembly was dissolved in January 1918 because the Bolsheviks were weak captures one important dimension of the event, but is only partially accurate. The Bolsheviks' relatively poor performance in the November 1917 elections, securing around 175 seats out of approximately 707, or roughly 24–25% of the vote, compared to the Socialist Revolutionaries, 370–40%, undoubtedly created a serious political vulnerability. The Assembly, when it finally met on 5–18 January 1918, was dominated by right SRs hostile to Soviet power. This majority refused to endorse the Bolshevik left SR decrees or recognize the supremacy of the Soviets, posing an immediate ideological and legitimacy challenge. However, the dissolution was driven far more by Bolshevik ideological conviction and strategic strength in key urban and military centers than by outright weakness. The action reflected Lenin's determination to prioritize Soviet power over parliamentary forms, made feasible by the Bolsheviks' control over Petrograd and the Red Guards. Thus, while weakness in national electoral terms played a role, it was not the main cause. The dissolution stemmed primarily from Bolshevik strength in revolutionary institutions and their rejection of bourgeois democracy. The electoral results did expose Bolshevik vulnerability in a purely representative contest. The elections, held largely under provisional government rules on 12–25 November 1917, reflected rural peasant support for the SR's land program before the Bolshevik decree on land, 8–21 November, could fully take effect. The SR list had been compiled before the party split, so right SRs benefited disproportionately, even as left SRs gained influence in peasant Soviets. The Bolsheviks won strongly in urban centers, e.g., over 50% in Petrograd and Moscow and among soldiers in northern fronts, but nationally they were a minority party. When the assembly convened, Chairman Viktor Chernov, right SR, was elected, and Bolshevik motions, read by Sverdlov, to recognize Soviet supremacy and the October Revolution were rejected by large majorities, e.g., 237–136 against. This demonstrated that, had the assembly been allowed to function, it would likely have attempted to supplant or severely limit Sovnarkom. In this sense, dissolution can be seen as a defensive response to electoral weakness. The Bolsheviks could not win a parliamentary majority and feared losing power through legal channels. Historians sympathetic to liberal or SR perspectives, e.g., some Western accounts, often emphasize this aspect, portraying the act as proof of Bolshevik insecurity and illegitimacy. However, this interpretation overstates Bolshevik frailty and underestimates their real sources of power in early 1918. By January, the Bolsheviks controlled the capital, the MRC Military Revolutionary Committee, key garrisons and the apparatus of coercion, Red Guards, sailors from Aurora and other ships. They had already consolidated through decrees, land, peace, workers' control, that won support among workers and peasants, and the left SRs were coalition partners. Lenin had long argued that Soviets, as direct class organs, were superior to bourgeois parliaments. The assembly, in his view, was obsolete and a rallying point for counter-revolution. When the assembly refused to yield, Bolshevik and left SR deputies walked out, and armed forces, under Bolshevik command, barred re-entry the next day, 6–19 January. The dissolution decree from the Central Executive Committee justified it as necessary because the assembly had become a tool of exploiters opposing the toilers' revolution. This was not the act of a weak regime, but one confident enough to suppress an elected body it could not dominate. The operation met little resistance. Crowds were dispersed with minimal violence, underscoring Bolshevik military dominance in Petrograd rather than desperation. Moreover, the broader context supports the argument that strength, not weakness, enabled the dissolution. The Bolsheviks had seized power in October precisely because dual power had collapsed and provisional government authority had evaporated. They viewed the assembly as a provisional government legacy, delayed deliberately to hinder revolution. Lenin explicitly stated in Theses, December 1917, January 1918, that Soviet democracy had superseded parliamentary forms. Clinging to the assembly would betray October. The action paved the way for one-party dominance and the eventual 1918 constitution, suggesting calculated consolidation rather than panic. In conclusion, while Bolshevik electoral weakness in the Constituent Assembly elections contributed to the perceived threat and provided a pretext, it was not the main cause of dissolution. The decisive factors were ideological commitment to Soviet power and practical strength in the revolutionary centers that allowed Lenin to override parliamentary legitimacy without immediate collapse. The Bolsheviks dissolved the assembly because they were strong enough to do so and believed it essential to preserve their revolution, not because they were too weak to tolerate it. To a large extent, therefore, the statement is misleading.